What's going on, guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Antonio. Most of you might know me on Instagram as Ants Analysis, and in today's video I'm going to be breaking down USDCHF all the way from the daily time frame down to the 1 hour time frame, anticipating my trades for the rest of the week. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any more content. And for those of you that want to join our automated trading service where you can copy all of our trades for completely free, just message me on Instagram and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Now let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight into the video. Right, guys, so this is my analysis on USD/CHF, so the US dollar against the Swiss franc on the daily time frame. So I'm going to be starting on the daily time frame, doing my kind of higher time frame analysis, and then jumping down to the 1 hour and maybe even lower, just to look at how we can potentially enter some trades throughout the week whilst we wait for our kind of higher time frame bias to play out. And it all makes sense, you know, as we kind of go through this analysis. But to start with, we're going to just kind of identify the trend, work out whether buyers or sellers are in control. And we do that just by identifying the highs and the low points of the market, okay? So we can see that basically the market started from up here, okay? We then move to the downside and we're forming these low points, and then we're moving down again, forming low points. We're pulling back, we're forming lower highs. We're moving to the downside, we're forming lower lows. Okay, so we can see that the market was definitely downtrending. So what I'm going to do, or what I like to do to kind of just visually represent that, is draw in some trend lines. Okay, so I don't really like to use trend lines in kind of my entries or anything like that. I just use it to essentially, you know, make my charts look pretty and, you know, kind of just look at what is kind of happening within the market. But everyone should be able to kind of look at this market without any kind of trend lines or analysis and be able to tell that the market was downtrending. Okay, but we just use trend lines to basically visually represent it for anyone who doesn't know that. But okay, we're going to connect the lows and the highs, and we can see that price was trading within this channel. Okay, so we're moving to the downside, pulling up, and then we're moving down, and then we're pulling up again. Okay, so we were definitely moving to the downside. And then what we're doing is we're kind of identifying, well, okay, price obviously broke out of this downtrend, but we want to ensure that it's actually confirmed. And how is that confirmed? Well, it's confirmed by price forming a new higher high within the market. And how has it done that? It's by taking out this most recent lower high in the market. As you can see, I can even drag it all the way from down here because it was once a support. Okay, it then got used as a few pieces of support, even there, resistance, and then resistance again. And this was our most recent lower high. And as you can see, that has been exceeded by this push to the upside. Okay, so we've broken the most recent lower high. So the fact that that is broken means we've seen a shift in market structure from bearish market structure to now bullish market structure. Okay, how else do I like to know that we are in kind of bullish market structure now on the higher time frame? That is, well, I like to look at the phases of the market. Okay, we can see how price is forming nice impulsive moves to the downside, followed by corrections to the upside, followed by again impulsive moves to the downside. And I'm going to use this example right here basically just to emphasize on that. So as you can see, we had a huge impulsive move here to the downside. Okay, not that many candles, 1 2 3 4 5 6 candles making such a huge move to the downside. Okay, so in only a week we moved massively to the downside. And then we can see as we pulled back, okay, so let's get rid of this now and let's highlight this zone that we have here. Okay, this is what I call a correction. Look how many candles, I'm not going to count it will take me ages, but I would say maybe 20 candles, 20 30 candles around that to do half the distance, okay, to pull back. So it took basically triple or quadruple the amount of days to do just a small movement back. And all that tells us is that price was correcting to the upside. And what that means is buyers are not really in control of the market. Sellers are massively in control here, but by the time we're correcting, buyers are not really in control. And then we're waiting for that move to the downside. And as you can see, what happened is price actually retested this previous level of support over here. If I drag that across, we actually retested it here. And we can see how sellers did try to step in. Okay, if I highlight maybe this area of candles here, we can see we had a nice bullish candle followed by a doji. Okay, a doji is an indecision candle. it means basically neither buyers or sellers are in the market. It's basically making a decision. And then we followed on from that by making a nice massive bearish engulfing candle. Okay, so we have retested this previous level of resistance. So my question to you would be, how many people do you think are selling at this level? Okay, selling right there, stops above, looking for that next continuation. Okay, and the answer is a lot of the market. Okay, a lot of the market would have been looking to sell. However, that didn't take place, and then we had a huge impulsive move to the upside. Okay, so that's a very impulsive move that we have there. So notice how we've now switched. Okay, so when I was talking about phases of the market, this is what I mean. Okay, so we have a nice impulsive move now, similar how we had this impulsive move to the downside. We've now switched. We're now seeing impulsive moves to the upside, which we haven't had for a very long time. Okay, this is our first impulsive move. So that's kind of telling me, okay, you know what, the market's now switched. No, buyers are in control of the market. But now the question is, what's going to happen next? Well, what are we going to anticipate? So, well, after this bearish impulsive move, we saw a bullish correction. So now we've had this bullish impulsive move. I'm going to be looking for a bearish correction. And the way I'm going to look for that is I'm going to look for price to pull back to this area that we had in the market here. Why? Because I am anticipating an inverse head and shoulders pattern to form. Okay, with this side over here being the left shoulder, this side, down here being the head, and then I'm anticipating a right shoulder to form. How am I going to back up this area within the market? I'm actually going to use the Fibonacci retracement tool. I'm going to drag it all the way from swing low, all the way up to swing high, and as we can see, the 61.8%, which is known as the golden zone in the Forex market, it lines up with this area of our inverse head and shoulders. Okay, so I am anticipating for price to pull back correctively, not impulsively, correctively down to the 61.8, and then I will be anticipating a impulsive move once again back up to potentially at least these highs. Why at least those highs? Well, if I get out the measuring tool and I measure the impulse from here that we had from the bottom, I measure this big move that we've had. If I drag that to where I'm anticipating the next move to start from, we can see that it does line up with this level up here, plus exceeding it. So I would expect price to at least come into there. But this is the daily time frame, guys, and we're not really going to be looking to wait for price to come all the way down here, and then once it gets down here, place a massive buy, because that's going to take days, weeks, months. It's not going to work. We're day traders. We want to be jumping on the lower time frames. And how do we do that? Well, first of all, remember, guys, this is just the higher time frame analysis, okay? But what we're actually looking for now is our lower time frame entries. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump down to the 1 hour time frame to see where we're currently at. So the first things first, we're going to jump down to the 1 hour time frame, okay? And it's a bit messy, I will admit that, but we have our area of where we're kind of looking to sell into. Okay, so we've got a lot of downside potential for where we're looking for price to come down to here. Now it's all about just creating setups. Okay, it's just all about creating market setups within the market. Now we can see on this 1 hour time frame that we're definitely in bearish market structure, so it is kind of a good time to be, you know, almost selling. If I was kind of just visually looking at this, I can say, okay, potentially that's like a left shoulder. This is really quick, guys. Just off the top of my head, that's the left shoulder. We could say, you know, that's the head, and we could say, you know, potentially over here is the right shoulder, and we can draw something along the lines of potentially this and say, you know, we are now in bearish market structure, which is fine. Okay, we're on the lower time frames now, and we're looking for that sell position. How do we look for our sell positions on these lower time frames? It's pretty simple. You don't want to overcomplicate things, or, well, I won't be overcomplicating things. All price is pretty much doing is just making lows, pulling back, retesting, and then making new lows. Pulling back, retesting, making new lows. You can see a prime example right here. But admittedly, it is a bit messy right now. But what I can see here, you know, we have nice areas of support again. We then break through, we then retest it. So, you know, that would have been a nice area to look for a sell position after potentially that big candle there, or, you know, anywhere, kind of looking for that position. And then, well, we know where our target is. We know where we're expecting price to kind of go down into. So, you know, we've got some nice risk to rewards that we could potentially be catching. But obviously that one's been missed now, so we need to wait for our next position. So how am I going to be doing that? I'm simply going to be waiting just for price to break through supports and essentially use it as resistances. So let's say we have this current level, which we're currently breaking through right now. All I will be kind of anticipating is for price to essentially keep breaking through, maybe move to the downside tonight. By the way, I'm filming this at around 6 o'clock in the evening on Monday. So by the time I post this, this might have already happened. But anyway, waiting for an impulse to the downside, gonna wait for like a nice correction, and then I'll look for that impulsive move, and so on and so forth. Okay, there'll definitely be more times to do it. So again, I'm looking for this. Let me drag this all the way down because I'll show you what I'm going to be looking for later on as well. So let's say something like that. We're constantly waiting and then trying to enter positions on the retest. Let's say break, retest, break. We're trying to scale down to here, okay? Until we reach this position, or until we're finally in here. We're finally in our zone that we had on the daily time frame. Then I won't be placing a buy position down here. I won't be doing this. Why won't I be doing that? For those of you that are watching this, the reason I won't just be entering at this zone is because we will still be in bearish market structure. We're still forming lower lows and lower highs. So when we get to this zone, I won't be buying. All I will be doing is I will be stopping my selling. I won't be selling because we've reached the zone from the higher time frames. Let me jump back up. From the higher time frames, which we mentioned earlier, that I know I would have previously anticipated an inverse head and shoulders. So I know that when price gets down to here, I shouldn't be selling anymore. But it doesn't mean I'm buying. It just means I'm not selling. Okay, there's a difference. Jump down to the 1 hour again. How am I going to be looking for a buy position? Once we reach this zone down here, I'm going to be looking for a break of market structure. Okay, once price makes it evident that we've broken market structure, like how we did on the daily time frame, I'll be looking for a pullback, and then I will be looking for my buy positions. Okay, so that's what we're looking out for. Okay, we're looking for breaks in market structure. We're looking at the daily time frame. We're looking at the inverse head and shoulders pattern on the daily time frame, and then, you know, maybe even here we'll use a Fibonacci retracement to add our confluences in, and then we'll look to buy. There's so much that goes into it, guys. We can't just be buying randomly, selling randomly. We need to know when we're buying, when we're selling, when we need to stop buying, when we need to stop selling, and kind of just using the lower time frames to do so. And yeah, there'll be plenty of opportunities. It might not even happen. We might even continue even lower. But right now, we're aware of where price is on the higher time frames. We're aware of price could potentially be going on the lower time frames, higher time frames. But all in all, we have a plan and we need to stick to it. But anyway, guys, that is my analysis on USD CHF for this week. Anticipating an inverse head and shoulders on the higher time frames, looking for those selling positions on the lower time frames, and then, you know, being able to get out of selling positions and get into buying positions when the time is right. But anyway, guys, I hope that was helpful, and we will go straight into the outro. Thank you for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure to leave a like and a comment letting me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Let's try to get the channel to 10K subscribers. So if you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any more content. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next video.